We're going to call the regular meeting to order. 7:01. Today's Tuesday, August 26th. City Council Chambers. Start with the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, also in the public, stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee,
Present.
Alderman Carr,
Here.
Alderman Roll,
Here.
Alderman Johnson,
Here.
Alderman Montoya.
Here.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Here.
Alderman Fairwell,
Here.
7 present, your honor.
Okay, we need to motion to approve the city council minutes from August 12th, 2025. Is there a motion? Alderman McGee, seconded by Alderman Johnson. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, any opposed? Carries. Public comment. As a reminder, the public comment period is not a time for dialogue. The purpose of the public comment period is for the mayor and aldermen of the city to receive input from their community. It is in fact a one-way communication to the city council. The city's administration and department heads are available for discussions after the meeting. Is there any public comment?
Good evening, Marie Mindeman, 1273 Greenwood Avenue. Brief comment. Please remember to use your microphones during all portions of the meeting. There have been some lapses recently, and I just want you to remember that we're all out here trying to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening. Ollie Clements, representing Mission Covenant Church here in Blue Island. Wanted to say on Saturday, August the 23rd, we had a wonderful response to our Evangelical Day. We were passing out water and literature pertaining to Mission Covenant Church, and we were delighted for the people that we were meeting. Also, just to let you know, for the month of September, we are participating in the Blue Island Park District yard sale. And moving on, in the month of October, we'll be collecting food for the food drive for our food drive that we're going to get to Salvation Army, along with the toy drive that also occurs during the month of November. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who may have participated in any of our events or giving real, yahoo, feedback that what we're doing in the community, and that we thank you for your support. So as always, we look forward to continuing to work with the city and having a wonderful time doing that. Also, again, the National Night Out was absolutely fantastic, and I hope the masks make their way into some publication. The parents are looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Moving on. We need a motion to approve payroll dated August 15th, 2025, in the amount of $485,390.94. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Carr. Is there a second? Alderman McGee on the question.
Got a few questions tonight, and I normally do have some big questions about financial stuff prior to the meetings for the administration. But there are some things I just thought ought to be asked in public tonight, because you've all been good enough to show up here, and it's good to see a good crowd. So, but I will follow up with the administration by email later with the questions, so that they can answer them in an organized fashion. So this is having to do with payroll. Several kind of disparate subjects to talk about here. One is, it has come to our attention that there are some underage, not necessarily meaning illegal, but under the age of 15 or 16 employees of the city, and we'd like to know how many there are, and also what are the defined roles they are performing, and was the proper process gone through to gain approval of that. I know there is a process that we go through to have kids work, which is, again, not necessarily a bad thing, but this is done right. And then who in the administration is responsible for overseeing and approving payroll on a general and regular basis? And were they aware that there were children on the city's payroll? Secondly, and I certainly don't want to name any names here for all kinds of obvious reasons, but there are a couple of employees who are relatively new to the city in financial roles that now provide more specific information when I ask my question, but we're curious about what their role is and what the expectations are from them. And this is in part due to the fact that we seem to continue to have a little bit of a hard time keeping up with our finances. And would like to know kind of how that's being addressed. Third is that, in looking at the payroll for something else, I kind of came across something in the golf course that was, unusual and maybe not necessarily wrong. It caught my eye. And that is that there are three, groups, family groups working, at the golf course there are three employees from three families that each have three employees working at the golf course. And there's another two families that each have two families working at the golf course. And it just strikes me as unusual, and I just would like to have that, verified to me that there aren't any policies being violated, and that we're also following best practices when hiring over the golf course. And also, I know that we have been stretched, and again, tremendous gratitude to our police department for all that they do and all the hard work that they engage in. And I know that the police force is stretched pretty thin right now. And I'm assuming that we're probably experiencing pretty good overtime, and I just would like to know, where we stand in that regard, maybe something along lines of a comparison of the first 8 months of this year compared to the first 8 months of last year, to see how that's going. And that might lead us to some, considerations of what we want to do going forward about making sure that we have enough people on the force in an affordable way. So those are my questions about the payroll, and again, I will submit them to the administration. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other questions? Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya, Alderman Ruthenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes, Your Honor.
Next, we need a motion to approve. Motion to approve accounts payable dated August 27, 2025, in the amount of $904,576.88. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Montoya on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya,
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Next, we have a resolution submitted by the fire department authorizing and approving a service plan for the fire department's striker stretcher system. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Roll, second by Alderman Carr on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya,
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. D and E are related regarding foreclosure property registration. So the first one is a resolution for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing and approving a professional service agreement with Hera Property Registry LLC. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Montoya, second by Alderman McGee on the question. Alderman McGee.
So my concern with this is that we're really not getting any information, that isn't just public information. And anybody that can go to a public library can go and pull up a list of properties that are, in foreclosure status. So it literally takes 5 minutes to do so. We can send somebody down there once a month to do it, so, I don't feel like, and I understand that there's no cost to us technically, but there is a cost. There is a cost, and it's $125 per record. And again, I don't see the justification for that spend, it's money that could technically come to the city. So for that, I would like to motion to table this, and we can look at other options that would be less costly for us.
Okay. Okay. So motion made by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Roll. Any question regarding tabling?
I would just, I understand the Alderman's concerns, and I think they're valid. And I would just suggest that, the gentleman who made the presentation was a good salesman, and that's his job. I probably would like to see some validation of his claims and some, run some numbers, about what the implications are if we hand this over to a third party versus handling it ourselves, the cost that we would incur, et cetera. So it would be helpful.
Alderman Ruthenberg, you had.
No, you know what, I'm good.
So the motion was made and seconded to table. All in favor to table? Any opposed? Motion's tabled. The following one is just adjusting ordinance to do something like this. It's not hiring anybody just yet, so I'll go through with it. If there's any issues, let me know. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Fairwell on the question.
And same thing, if you think we should table this, that they can use the pot.
All right, is there a second? Second Alderman Roll on the question to table. All in favor to table?
Aye.
Good. Under F, an ordinance for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, amending chapter 111, alcoholic liquor, for the code of Blue Island, Illinois. This is temporary for Sunday mornings for Baroque Bowl, as discussed at committee. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Roll on the question. Alderman Roll.
Mayor, I apologize if we're gonna take this up, somewhere else, but, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yes.
All right, sorry about that. Is there plans to include, I know there were some concerns about the, length of time that some liquor stores were remaining open, is that, could we include that in this, or is that something you plan to update, at a later date?
I have no problem putting that on the agenda for the later date. This was just to address the Baroque Bowl situation.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Not clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes, your honor.
Motion carries. Under G, an ordinance for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, granting preliminary approval of a planned development for a gas station, mini mart, fast food restaurant, and drive-in restaurant uses within the highway commercial C2 district located between the addresses of 11901-11955 South Vincennes Avenue, the old Montauk Chrysler. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Johnson. Any question? Alderman McGee.
So this is the first I'm hearing that it also has a fast food restaurant and a drive-in restaurant attached to the property. Did they, by any chance, say which restaurant?
No, I think they are going for the special use. They're like kind of where the hospital, it was advised to do the special use all at one time. I believe all right now it's just the gas station they're planning to build, but there's enough space for a drive-through restaurant there too. That would still have to come through us. So, because that's why it's preliminary approval. Any other questions? Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes, your honor.
Motion carries. Under H, motion to place city-owned property located between 13701-13713 South Sacramento out to bid. It's vacant land the city acquired through tax deed many years ago. Is there a motion? Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Johnson on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes, your honor.
Motion carries. Under I, an ordinance for the city of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, requiring a one-way vehicular traffic within the city, and providing penalties for violation thereof. This is the public alley immediately west of the new gas station up 123rd in Broomwald. So it's only southbound only to divert less traffic going towards 123rd Street. Is there a motion? Alderman Carr, second Alderman McGee. On the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Under J, I believe Lauren from Kasperik's office would like to discuss this. Lauren?
Good evening, everyone. So I wanted to touch base on the, this item on the agenda because Cook County, the last several years has been struggling a little bit on getting tax bills out on time. This has kind of happened to us several times in the last 3 years. And I don't know why it keeps happening, but unfortunately, even as of today, we got an email from Cook County. They still do not have an estimate of when we're gonna get the second installment of taxes. Typically, what had previously been happening is, property bills would be sent out June, July time, August, September time, and all municipalities would start seeing the second installment of property taxes. As you all know, you guys still have not received your property taxes or your property tax bills to pay them. Unfortunately, we're a governmental entity that kind of rely on those property taxes to come in. So one of the discussions that were brought up of, doing a tax anticipation warrant, which I know a lot of municipalities in this area are doing because of the situation at hand by the county. Or, this option here of interfund borrowing, which would save the city the fees of going out for a tax anticipation warrant on top of the interest. So ultimately, it's a way for the city to save money in the long run. So I think that pretty well covers anything. Is there any questions?
Alderman Fairwell, then Alderman Roll.
Okay.
Just a minor point here, I think it seems like it makes sense, but in section 4, it calls for the funds, transfer of funds, and repayment of the same. It doesn't provide a date by which I'd like to just see some date, could be a year from now or something.
So typically with interfunds, we try to, pretty much what will happen is as the property taxes are coming in, they would get paid to the funds respectively. The problem with the due date is we don't know when we're gonna get these
But
property
it's
taxes.
gotta be like a year from now, something, right?
I mean, we can,
It seems like there's gotta be some date we could put on it that would be safe. And we're just
So-
assured it does get moved back by some date.
so I would have to go with the attorney. Is there a way for us to add that date to?
And we can amendment on
We
the
can do an
on the
amendment.
motion, yes.
Yeah.
Just what's the comfortable date? I'm gonna look through your expertise.
So comfortable date, I would say. I'm trying to think of the easiest. So it's hard whenever you don't know.
I understand.
Um,
It could be,
Well, you know what my recommendation would be is let's put a date of December 31st. So it's end of fiscal year end. The worst case scenario is if we don't have, we can just revise it at the first meeting
Very
in
good.
January. Does that work?
Is that
Okay.
amenable?
The ordinance also says that it has to be done pursuant to statute, and the statute contains a date.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now, but my phone's like, I think all the can, but it's definitely in that statute.
Okay.
Alderman Roll had a question, then Alderman McGee.
Yeah, I think just in addition to that, I was wondering how imminently do you feel this needs to be done in order to cover any shortfall?
So, due to the fact that governmental entities kind of expect these payments, it is a need of the city that we do it sooner rather than later. Because, we were expecting money already and unfortunately we have not gotten it.
For sure. So I mean, just in general terms, can you tell me, is this like a 2-week liquidity thing? Like what, in ballpark terms, when do we need to move the funds to have them available to be able to make our obligations?
So we would be moving them as soon as this is approved.
Correct, but does it need to be approved now?
I would recommend it being moved.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman McGee.
My question was actually for the attorney. Since we've never done this before, so, make sure that this is legal to do.
No, we've done it, Alderman, we've done it once or twice before. But I'll let her speak on that.
It is. It's legal. The statute under which we're doing it is in the ordinance itself. It's something a lot of municipalities do to avoid the cost and expense of tax anticipation warrants.
Never done it before, so I prefer your judgment on this and.
Alderman, I think,
The legal,
yeah.
okay.
I think we did it when the county was late a couple of years ago. I believe we did it, but again, it's not like asking for a loan, so we probably got mixed with everything else.
Well, this is my question too. So if we had time to review it to the comfort of all the aldermen, that'd be great. If we don't, I understand, but that's why I was asking about the time. Ideally, we spend more time reviewing it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Lauren, you good?
Yep, I'm good.
We need a motion. I just had Alderman Johnson and Alderman McGee on the question. Kind of jumped ahead by asking Alderman Baumgartner. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Ruthenberg, Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
7 ayes, your honor.
Motion carries. Under mayor's announcements, just a brief announcement. We finally got a second green alley grant to actually get off the ground. So 3 different alleys throughout the city are currently being done. We were getting some questions, so social media made it clear. 123rd, there's one off Vermont, there's one right here near City Hall. And then there's another 3 coming right after this, but most likely will be next season. And these are fully paid for by grant monies, which is nice, doesn't even come through our budget. It's paid directly from the granting agency. So just giving an update on that. So that's what the construction is going on in those 3 different sections of town. City Clerk.
I'd like to just, everybody save the dates. We have 3 5K walks, runs coming up. September 7th is the Rose Walk. That's Blue Cap. I'm not sure if it's actually 5K, but it's a walk. Guild House is September 21st. And the Blue Island, is October 5th. So if anybody's looking to walk or run, those are the 3 big dates. Also, we have some good news. We have, the Blue Island Park District has a Kaboom grant. We've got some a few years back. They got it October 2nd. It's for Stans Park. The thing when you do a Kaboom's grant, because I was involved in several of them, we need volunteers. So, if you're willing to volunteer, you could call me at the clerk's office. You could call the Park District. You could come up and sign up. It's October 2nd at 8 a.m. at Stans Park. If you're not sure where Stans Park is, that's the park right past White Castles, like before you go over the viaduct. Do you guys have anything else to add to that? Anything I missed? Anything?
No, I think we're good. I would just add if we could have people come out, Bill, I know I've talked to Alderman Fairwell, I've talked to you a little bit, we're looking forward to the project, so, but we definitely need some volunteers, so. October 2nd.
Yeah, so come on out or call my office. We'll put you in the sign up sheet or call the Park District. Did you volunteering, Dexter Johnson?
I am, but I'm.
I'll put you down right now.
The question is, what, can children volunteer?
I believe they have school, but
It's a school day, but they have to be of working age to be on the project site, so.
Okay,
I got you, Dexter.
I got a basketball team, so a couple of them.
Well, you'll work as hard as all of them, so I'll put you down for first.
Put me down.
Thank you. Anything else?
Then I have-
City Attorney,
We have an executive session.
City Clerk,
Oh, or-
the Administration, I'll report. Aldermanic announcements, reports, and comments. Alderman Roll.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just did have some comments tonight regarding update around the block cameras. Can everybody hear me though? Okay, I know the microphone.
Move it up real close. That's ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, like that. All right. So I would like to thank those who came tonight to show their support and interest on the subject of advanced technology like AI in government. I know there's better things you could be at home watching. I'd also like to thank Nancy Rita and Alderman Farnwell in particular for their consistent interest and support on this subject over the last few years, as well as Alderman Montoya and Ruthenberg for reaching out to me directly with questions and desire to be involved. This subject is one that is deeply important to me personally and professionally. And the matter before the city of Blue Island tonight is merely among the first of what I expect will be a growing and nationwide conversation about the role of advanced technology like AI in our public lives. There's a lot I'd like to say, so bear with me, but above all, what I want is for you to know that we are not powerless when it comes to regulating things like AI and dictating the boundaries that we would like between it and us. There is a method and a framework. It can be effective so long as we are informed and engaged as citizens. I am by profession a solution architect for data engineering and governance. I have helped some of the largest companies in the country design effective systems for everything from calculating complex financial forecasts to protecting patient data as it participates in helping physicians spot cancer. I don't say this to brag, but to establish my credentials. Preparing government for both the dangers and the benefits of technologies like AI and machine learning was a big driver to my getting involved in politics. And these matters are before us right now, not tomorrow, not in science fiction. Blue Island, like a fast-growing number of cities and towns across the country, utilizes a technology as part of its law enforcement efforts made by a company called Flock. I do not and cannot speak for Flock or its architecture, but as an expert, my perspective is qualified. I'd like for the public to understand how this technology works so that they can have an informed voice. and guiding councils like this toward effective policy and regulation. This technology uses digital cameras to record passing vehicles wherever they are installed, every passing vehicle, and then transmits and centrally stores that visual information. Once it is stored, an advanced type of analytics called machine learning goes to work against the images. Machine learning refers to a particular approach to computing, which includes more famously large language models like ChatGPT that we are familiar with as AI. In the case of Flock, the machine learning algorithm converts the images into searchable text. This allows law enforcement to monitor or search for various aspects of a recorded vehicle and its location history, such as time of day, direction of travel, make, model, color of the vehicle, and of course, the license plate for identification. According to Flock, a private company, these data are stored for 30 days. Additionally, Flock allows law enforcement to network with other customers in other geographies who are also using the technology. Here in Chicagoland, that can be really useful. It is important that Blue Island be able to work with and share with its neighbors. However, for the very same reason that this system provides a wealth of information and capability for law enforcement, making it a proven and effective tool for good. So too does the technology represent an attractive option for less well-meaning reasons. This is an age-old problem with human technology, but the further we go, the higher the stakes go. Data is very powerful. One notable issue regarding liability is that the rapid advance of technology means that government and even companies, and I know because this is how I made a living, have to rely on other companies like Flock to provide and operate the technology. Overall, this is a good arrangement where government stays out of the business of innovation. However, it also means that we in this city council and in every legislative body of government has an extra layer to consider when it comes to policy. For example, Flock is making national headlines, I believe, as of just yesterday and today, for vulnerabilities in how the virtual networks that can be formed in their system are accessed, and without sufficient rigor. This allows unwanted parties to effectively watch the public through our cameras from afar, and in ways that potentially violate deeply protected rights to privacy and against profiling. We cannot protect against what we are not watching for. Further, as with any software ever made, rules about how it should be used are only as effective as they are watched and enforced. A username and password written on a sticky note or shared with a colleague with otherwise good intentions, even an email that had a link that should not have been clicked. All of these things can ultimately bring down even the most powerful and well-guarded systems, and with potentially serious consequences. Again, already horror stories are mounting about the misuse of this and similar technology in other municipalities right now. The state of Illinois is actively passing laws to put up some kind of guidelines around how this gets used. But we don't have to wait for that in order to dictate the role that we want this technology to play. To prevent liabilities like these and others that come with vendor-hosted technology, where again, there are processes, features, updates that we cannot control, and to address the need for basic and well-enforced user access policies, this council drafted and passed a comprehensive policy and framework for BIPD to follow as a contingency to the council's initial and continued approval of funding. I have been disappointed with the administration's poor compliance with this policy thus far, and in particular with the way the city administrator and city attorney have both sought to handle my urgent request for oversight for what is now over 10 weeks. And I should hope that now, and I encourage you all to go and read the headlines concerning Flock, in light of this news, it should be abundantly clear why it is so critically important for the city to have a policy in place that is sensible and effective, and above all, protects the public. This week, and right up until today, I have had extensive discussions with both Attorney Matt Welch and with the mayor. I would like to thank them both for taking the time and patience to understand the scope and depth of my concerns here. I'm pleased to report that currently I'm assisting Commander Sepisi with providing the council with an appropriate cache of raw data for our review. And the mayor has pledged his support going forward in both properly adopting the council's original policy framework as a binding but temporary solution, and with the understanding that upon review of the usage statistics and an informed discussion in open committee, along with critical guidance from BIPD, this council will work to update that original policy to a better fitting draft as soon as possible. Effective security is not just what is safest. The safest place to be is a prison cell. But it has to be effective with regard to what we are trying to protect. It is the job of this council to not only do this, but continually improve this policy going forward in such a way that both respects the standing responsibilities that the men and women of our police department both meet and exceed every day. But again, also one which effectively ensures the appropriate degree of oversight and accountability for the public, so that they can have a full and inalienable agency in how technology like this gets used. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say in there. I would like to make sure that we have properly codified the framework that we have now as a stopgap, and at minimum to protect us from liability for the last 3.5 years of using these cameras.
Thank you. Yes,
Oh, I'm
Alderman.
sorry, Mayor, I'd just like to add, I do have printouts of that old policy framework for anybody that would like it, again, with the understanding that it needs review.
Thank you, Alderman Roll. I have some other points I want to make, but I do want to, genuinely thank you for the work you've done on this and other matters having to do with the city's finances. We are unbelievably fortunate to have someone of Josh's skill, talent, and ethics working hard for the city. I think it's probably fair to call him the hardest working alderman in Blue Island. But
So far.
And much appreciated. I appreciate the work he's done on this. And it is, I mean, I do want to say that there are some news reports that illustrate very clearly why this is so important to protect all of us. And I think you can see things going on the national scale right now that emphasize why the protection of our civil liberties is going to be way more important in the coming years. So thank you. I do have some other things I'd like to address tonight as quickly as I can, but there are several things. And I want to first start off by saying that, we have had 4 good years here. And I appreciate very much the work that everyone and the council and our administration have done cooperatively to make a number of accomplishments. We've all seen the alleys and the streets, forestry board renewed, Western Avenue, some great events from our city clerk and so on. So there's lots of good things that have gone on. But tonight, I'm going to focus on some other things that I think also need attention. Maybe, the last 4 years, what are we going to do? And I would say that none of these items are houses on fire, but they're all smoldering houses, and you put them all together, and there's some stuff that we really need to get onto. And I just want to put a little bright line around tonight as we kind of look towards the next 4 years of how we're going to conduct ourselves. Again, in no particular order, but it's kind of under the general area of finances. Some miscellaneous things, for example, as an alderman, and maybe others share the same experience. I continue to get, a continuous series of inquiries about water bills, usually having to do around where there were 0 reads for a few months for whatever reason, and there were no water bills, or there were 0 water bills, and also there's a great big water bill. And I'm familiar with some of the problems that are causing this. This, like other things, I think 4 years in, I would like to see us further along. And also, I don't think we can any longer say, gee, this is a problem we were given by an administration from 4 to 5 years ago. We own it now. I don't want to hear about that anymore. There's a few incidents in here a few things in here I'm going to talk about that have kind of surfaced in some executive sessions, which I cannot talk about the specifics, but it's brought some issues to light that I think need attention. One of them is still the general condition of our financial reporting capabilities. We had a need for a cash flow statement recently, and we seem to be unable to come up with it, which is pretty basic. I know that Josh has had some concerns about our financial data model, and he continues to have those concerns, and there have been concerns for a long time, and he's worked very hard on it. We need to keep chipping away at that for sure. Another issue we've had, that we like to call ourselves self-insured. We're not, we're uninsured. If we were self-insured, or if we wanted to call ourselves self-insured, we would have some kind of a contingency fund, and we don't. And I think it's time that we start to tighten belts somewhere and put a little money away from, every month or however we want to do it. Because right now, even today, we're facing lawsuits and issues that, could go one way or the other, but if they go bad, some of them we don't have the money to cover. And we're gonna go find that money for you folks. So we really need to be thinking more carefully about that. We're trying to get insurance without luck, and maybe that comes someday, but I think now we need to really think about how we're going to start to protect ourselves with some extra money that's put aside as a self-insurance fund. Also, well, then kind of related is under the subject economic development. Again, we've had some good things happen in town. But some things have also come to light recently that show that our economic development efforts are not well organized. We don't really have a strategy. We don't have a staff that seems to be well organized around it. And it is opening us to perhaps some lost opportunities and, probably more of concern, given what I just said about us not being insured, opening us to liabilities. We need a professional staff that's fully capable of handling. We've got a lot of opportunities in town now, thanks to the good things we've done. But we can't have them squandered because we just aren't ready to handle them. Also, per Alderman Rowe, and again, I thank you for bringing some of these things to light. There are, many managed properties in towns, apartments, et cetera. And we hear from people, we heard from someone a couple of sessions ago, who lives in an apartment that sounds, literally unlivable. I mean, the conditions are inhuman. And we obviously can't control all of these things, but I think we really did look harder at this. We have a number of working poor in town who are earning an honest living and deserve to live in at least a decent place. And many people aren't. And I find that inexcusable. And I think we need to find some better ways. I know we have a building department that goes out and issues tickets, and it's a long and endless process. And I can't help but think there's a better way to do this than we're doing it right now. Maybe filing civil suits against particularly egregious landlords. And then finally, another issue of real consternation to me at this point is our website. We did make some progress with it in terms of putting together a new architecture and a better looking website. I met with the city clerk the other day to talk about the welcoming to Blue Island kit we're putting together, which is another great project of hers. And in doing so, I went onto the website just to look for some information. And I started printing out the pages on the website that have major errors on them. And essentially, I was printing out every single page. Financial information that's years old. Information about city services is just completely wrong. It's inexcusable to me. There's no reason why, at this point, we've had 4 years to get this damn website correct. And I don't think it would take that long to get it right. And I'm really out of patience with it. So that's, I think, actually kind of a little house on fire. So those are just some things I wanted to bring to everyone's attention in the room, and I appreciate your patience in listening to me, and urge us all to get moving and take care of some of these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Gay.
Just to piggyback on the website, just to piggyback on the website, there used to be a map that would show all of the wards. And it made it easy for me just to, when a constituent called in, I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, you're actually in Candace's ward. I can really redirect you to Candace, or I would know that they're in my ward. We could blow it up, and it was a really nice map. So if we can also put that map back on website.
There is a map there right now. It's sort of like an eye test put together by ants or something. I mean, you could not read it. It's unbelievable.
Yes, I just want to piggyback on some of the comments that the Alderman made. Everything we're talking about, we talk about our finances, how constrained they are, different mechanisms such as the tax bills being put in, also businesses being in Blue Island to help pour in taxes to help us out in many different manners. But, you know, some things that we're totally behind on. One, we're older than Chicago, so is our pipe systems, which we're probably a couple of years behind in, which takes money. So I don't want to end up like Flint, Michigan. So we have to borrow money, if that's what we have to do in order to keep our constituents and the residents of this city safe. That's what we got to do. That's just bottom line. How we go about it, then that might be a process within itself, but some things has to be done. We've been getting streets repaired and alleys repaired within the last 4 years, more than the last two administrations put together. One of them was in for 28 years. And if they complained about it, I didn't hear about it. So I'm just saying, moving forward, if we have a lot of issues, not saying that the public should be addressed about it, but if it's in-house, then we need to clean that house. It's just simple as that. Going forward with some of the comments Alderman Rowe made about the fly cameras, I have to agree with the policies and things he was talking about. But also we have a new police chief, and those things didn't really happen within his watch. So we definitely got to give him the leniency and the time to help us put this thing together. I agree with FLOC, period, but I understand also of spyware and things of that nature that helps could help the criminals curtail some of this, right? But also I live on the border of Robbins, and Harvey is ranked number 6 in the country for terrible cities. We're on the borderline of Chicago. We have kids that mob together for whatever reasons and jump on people's cars down at Millennium, the Beam. You can't even enjoy what you have and what you pay for. I had 5 high performance vehicles stolen from my neighborhood before FLOC. One of them was a friend of mine. He had an $85,000 vehicle. He seen pass by in his neighborhood 5 times because of FLOC not being inconsistent. So what I'm saying is a lot of things, what we're trying to do, we can't move as fast as other big cities because of financial constraints and what we're trying to do as a city to progress in things that's absolutely necessary. So I think, first of all, we need to reach for the low-hanging fruit before we try to trim the top branches. And that way, the residents can feel it, feel comfortable, as well as the constituents and the people who actually voted us in under the oath of God to do the right thing. That's just simple and plain. But not to be more or less on a serious note, my basketball team that I'm part of, which is, I have to say, from the Park District and Teddy and Louise, who helped develop some of these kids. We took the 3 versus 3 tournament in Chicago at the Bulls Fest. It was 40 teams collectively on the 10 and 11-year-old level. We went undefeated and to represent Blue Island, and we took it to 1.
Thank you. Any other Alderman? If not, we do have an executive. Is there a motion to adjourn to executive? Motion by Alderman Carr, second by Alderman Dean. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah, you would say. It's sorry.
All right. We need a motion to move into executive session. Motion by Johnson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We spoke about eminent litigation and property real estate issues in executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman Roll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.